Today on Pollen Weather, only Oklahoma and Missouri are forecasted to reach very high conditions. Welcome to Pollen Weather by Pollen Wise App. It's Thursday, October 15th. I'm Landon Bunderson, and this is the place for daily allergy news and forecasts. That wet weather moving across the north-central U.S. has reached Michigan, and for most of you in Michigan, that will be plenty of rain to suppress pollen and mold. Freezing temperatures last night in the northern Great Plains and west are contributors to the lower pollen forecast today as well. Chenopods and ragweed are toast in some of those whitish areas as temperatures reached the low 20s and teens last night. The Rockies and Great Basins still have sagebrush season to contend with, but I'm not seeing much yet, just a trickle. I was in Yellowstone Park yesterday and the sagebrush was still in its early stages of pollen release. Just a reminder, if you're watching on YouTube, like and subscribe. Okay, don't get me wrong, looking at the pollen map, you can see that there's plenty of sagebrush pollen being released in Utah, Montana, and Idaho, but we're still very early in the season. Missouri and Oklahoma could use an early hard frost. They're forecast to hit the high 70s today. The upper Midwest could see high pollen today too, places like Chicago and Milwaukee, assuming they don't get rain. Everywhere else looks pretty darn good. Don't be fooled though, Texas. Redberry juniper season is starting. Here's a map of where the trees grow. If you're in this area or downwind, you're going to get hit by this very allergenic cedar pollen. And speaking of being downwind, check out the gusty weather expected in the panhandle of Texas and southwest Oklahoma on the wind map. That's redberry juniper country. Keep an eye out if you're in that area, and if you're in Lubbock or Amarillo, reach out. Would love to get a sensor out your way. Over on mold, check out Utah. That's the lowest forecast we've had since we started this channel. Could this be the end of the mold season for Utah? Let's hope so. Oklahoma and Missouri have high mold on top of their high pollen. That's a shame. Northern Alabama and Chicagoland are also places to watch for mold. Over on the NO2 map, we've got some very high levels in parts of California and also in the northeast U.S. There are still fires burning as well, so smoke is definitely still an issue in some places. There's a big, relatively new fire in northeastern Colorado, for example. That's one to definitely watch. Today's feature is the bar graph race. This is from yesterday, even though I'm just now noticing it says today. Chicago has the top spot for the entire period from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. Salt Lake, Phoenix, and Las Vegas jockey for the second spot throughout the day, but Chicago stays on top and peaks in the middle of the day at above 2,000 pollen grains per cubic meter. And yes, we were off on our forecast yesterday for Chicago. That's why you need the Pollen Wise app with real sensors to keep you updated. Thanks for listening. Remember, you can find previous episodes on the Pollen Channel on YouTube. If you're watching on YouTube, check out the Pollen Wise app, the only place for real hourly pollen and mold counts.